everyone, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are getting a little spooky just in time for Halloween. I wanted to wear a costume for this video, but fortunately didn't have time, so you're just gonna have to deal with this. But anyways, I've done a bunch of these videos in the past where I do a lot of different doodle ideas. I have, I think, 3 by now. There's a Christmas one and then a couple of just regular doodle ideas videos, so if you haven't seen those, I'm gonna link the playlist down below. But today, we are doing all things Halloween, and I'm really excited about it because Halloween is one of my favorite holidays of the year. Before we get into it, I'd like to quickly thank Adobe for sponsoring this video. I actually partnered with them for their new video editing software called Adobe Rush, which I actually used to make this video. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about them later in the video, but without further ado, we have quite a lot of doodles to get through, so let's get spooky. Alright, so the doodles we're going to start off with are the magic and wizardry doodles. You guys know that this was my bullet journal theme for October, so I just kind of recreated some of the ones that were on my cover page. We have a broom, a witch's hat, a wand, some potions, a lot of different things. Oh yeah, and a crystal ball, which actually is one of my favorites. I didn't really tailor these towards like Harry Potter, it's just kind of magic and wizardry in general. I might do a Harry Potter specific one in the future because I know that the new movie is coming out, but we will see. Anyways, I forgot to mention that the pen that I'm using is the Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen. You guys know that this has been my recent favorite for doodling. I use the hard tip and that way the ends don't really fray because it is a plastic nib. Number 8 was a moon, and number 9 is a melted candle, which I think looks a little spooky. Number 10, we have a mystical looking key, which I thought was pretty cute as well. And then for number 11, we have a little crystal. Oh, I added all the little sparkles around it because I feel like that adds to the magic touch. Number 12 is what are these called? An hourglass, that's what it's called. And then of course I had thrown a little hint towards Harry Potter in there with the glasses and the lightning bolt. I also did this spell book, and I thought that was wrapping up the magic section, but there was this little black feather which reminds me of like a crow's feather. Number 16 is the final one out of the magic section, which is this old-time parchment roll that looks kind of like it was ripped out of an old spell book or something. Number 17, of course, we have to do the pumpkins, so I drew a bunch of different options here. We have just a regular pumpkin, one that's carved out into a jack-o'-lantern, which is basically the same thing except with a face on it. We have these various ghost faces. 20 is a skull, number 21 are bones to go along with the skull, and then number 22 is a spider. And to go along with the spider, I did a bunch of different variations on spider webs. Oh, this is the candy section, so we have candy corn, lollipops, wrapped candy, chocolate bars, anything to do with trick-or-treating. Oh, and a caramel apple, of course. And then number 26, we have a cauldron that probably has some weird potion mixing up in it. Oh yeah, here's the other option of the spider web. Doing it in the corner is pretty fun as well. Number 28 and 29 are tombstones and coffins, which are actually pretty easy to make, but they definitely add to the spooky vibe. And then to go along with the coffin, just because I feel like there's a vampire in there or something, we have a silhouette of a bat. These are also pretty easy to make because you just color it in. I also did a silhouette of a cat, which was probably one of the more difficult silhouettes. I feel like I still ended up making it not really look like a cat. I'm not the greatest at drawing animals, but I tried, guys. A black cat is definitely very Halloween though. It reminds me of like Salem from Sabrina and the Teenage Witch, for any of you who watched. 32, we have these creepy looking zombie eyeballs, and then 33, similar to the candle we did before, but this one is actually on a candlestick holder. I did another cat just because I wasn't really satisfied with the other one, but still ended up not really looking like a cat in my opinion. We have a classic owl, and then a pumpkin, except this one is actually a container that, you know, children use to collect their trick-or-treating candy. Oh, I wasn't satisfied with the options of pumpkins that I did, so I did a couple different ones. You can definitely play around with the different faces on the pumpkins and the shapes of the pumpkins, just to give a variation of different jack-o'-lanterns. Number 38, as you can see, I'm drawing the silhouette of a creepy haunted house on a hill, and I drew like clouds and the moon in the background. Number 39 and 40, we have a ghost and a zombie. I just did the zombie head though, not the whole body. I did another ghost. I was really showing you guys all the variations of ghosts that you can do. A creepy looking tree with some leaves falling. And then I did a little nod to A Nightmare Before Christmas because that's a classic in my opinion. I did a little skull and crossbones symbol and then a vampire head. I feel like this was the section where I drew a bunch of different heads. So there's the zombie and then now I'm doing the vampire. I should have done Frankenstein actually, I just thought of that now. And then this is a section where I wanted to show you guys some doodles that you can do if you guys want to play around with lettering or different banners. So this font that I'm doing is the serif font. I feel like any serif font looks very Halloween, especially if you make it look a little asymmetrical. Number 50, which is the font that I'm doing right now, is a really cool font where it looks like it's dripping, which I thought was pretty cool. And then we've made it past 50. These are just a couple bonus things. You can do some cute banners where the letters are hanging off that kind of look like spiders hanging off of a spider web. And then the final two that I did was this worn out sign that says beware, but you can obviously change out whatever the sign says. And I also did a font that was made out of bones, which I thought was pretty cool. So here are all of the Halloween doodles that I thought of. Whew, we did it. We made it through all of those Halloween doodle ideas. I hope this gave you some sort of inspiration. I'm feeling very Halloween right now. But anyways, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I wanted to quickly talk about Adobe Rush because that's actually what I use to edit this video. I always get tons of questions about the editing software that I use for my videos, and recently I've been loving Adobe Rush. Adobe actually made Rush with social media in mind, so everything's very optimized and easy for people who make videos, whether you make videos on YouTube or Instagram. There's a bunch of cool features like editing across all devices, like I can edit on my phone and my iPad, which is super cool. And you can also change the orientation of your videos super easily. If you guys want me to do an in-depth demonstration or tutorial or another video about Adobe Rush, let me know. I can definitely do that for you guys. But I highly recommend Rush if you're looking for a really efficient and easy to use editing software, especially for any beginner editors out there. The interface is super easy to use and pretty self-explanatory, and I had no issues when I first opened it up. I edited something right away. So definitely check out Adobe Rush. I'm going to leave more details in the description box below if you're curious, but I think that's pretty much everything. So keep doodling and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye everyone!